Hi, welcome back to Miss Annette's Little Farm in the Big City. Today we're going to talk about some of the mistakes I made here on the farm. One of the mistakes I made was this makeshift gate I had for the ducks. I thought this was going to work and I thought this would keep the ducks out, but they have it all mangled and tangled and completely broken apart. The goats lean up against it and break it. It's just not working. So what we'll probably do is put in a gate like we have for the other areas. One of the mistakes I made with the ducks that I'm not going to make this year is that I gave them access to a big pool of water because I wanted them to have water because I know they need it. I've decided to just go ahead and give them enough water in their paddock for them to eat and drink. And then when I want them to have access to water to swim in, I'll do that somewhere else where it won't cause so much trouble. The ground in here got too wet and saturated, and we tried different things. We tried pea gravel, we tried tilling up the soil, we tried a lot of things. And what I think I'm going to keep doing is I've decided to start putting this hay down, and I put the hay down and it's easier to keep clean because the duck's poo is very kind of runny and it attracts flies, and we had a real big fly problem last year. So we even had such a big fly problem that I had to put fly bags on. And this is a fly bag right here, and what it does is you put some water in it and you hang it somewhere and the flies are attracted to it because it's really super stinky. And we had several of these last year because we had such a big fly problem. And we hadn't had that problem before we got ducks. So I need to keep the duck paddock cleaner than I did last year because these things really stink and I really don't want to have to use them again this year. One of the problems I have with the chickens that I need to figure out a solution, and I don't quite have a solution for this yet, and it's kind of a duck and a chicken problem, is their feed. They get it all over the place. It's everywhere. And I need to figure out a better solution to just giving them feed in this big metal container because they get it all over, and when feed is all over, even though I take this in every night, there's still feed all over the ground. That attracts mice and rats and raccoons and any other kind of creature that would eat that, which even though all creatures are welcome on Miss Annette's little farm, some creatures a little bit more than others. You know what I mean? One of the other problems that I have on the little farm is this door. I put a handle on the door so I could slide it up and down, but it doesn't work very well. Now this is just going to be a temporary problem because I realize it's spring and pretty soon it's going to be summer, and I'm going to be using a different door here. So this, I can't get it up any higher, so it just only leaves a really small space for the chickens to get in and out. So I need to change this door somehow. I think I might put a strap on the bottom so I can pull it up and take this knob off. But pretty soon we'll be using this gate, so it won't be that long of a problem, and I can fix that easily. A fatal mistake I made this past year was that I didn't treat the bees. We lost our bees. Some of our bees, we lost them to poisoned. They weren't poisoned specifically by anybody, but people put chemicals on their yard and it kills bees. It really does. So some of our bees were poisoned. We had 2 hives, and one of our hives had a population that was poisoned, and I kind of just thought, okay, it's doing okay, and we opened the hive and we still had plenty of bees. And then we had a mite infestation, which means these little tiny bugs are over there landing on the bees and making the bees sick. So we lost our hive because I saw that they were not doing that well and I should have treated them, and I didn't because I don't really like using chemicals. But I'm going to make sure that this year, if I see mites and if I see poisoning, if I see any of those things, I'm going to be a little bit more alert when it comes to the bees because they're precious to the farm too, and I want to make sure that I take good care of them. The goats and I are best buddies, but we did make a mistake when we got the goats. the mistake was that we thought we would get some goats and have delicious milk and cheese and all those wonderful, delicious kind of foods that come along with having goats. Well, Mr. Steve went to a basket weaving class, and he came home with some new information about goats and how traumatized they are after they give their babies up. And you can't have goat milk without having babies. That's just a fact of life. Well, we love our little goaties, and we certainly didn't want to traumatize them by taking away their babies. So we decided that we're not going to have babies or cheese or milk on the farm. We're just going to have 2 little naughty goats. Not all the mistakes that were made on the little farm were animal related. Some of them were plant related. And you can't even see right here, but we planted some willow by the driveway. Unfortunately, the rabbits love the willow and they really ate it down. So I need to figure out a better spot for the willow, because we want to use the willow so that we can weave baskets and different things with it. We can't do it if the rabbits are constantly eating it. So it's another thing that we need to move. I have to find a better spot for this poor willow. It gets chewed all the way down to the stub because of the little rabbits. That's the thing about mistakes. Sometimes they're doozies and sometimes they're dinky. But most of the time, it's something you can fix. Don't make the mistake of not getting outside today. And thank you for visiting Miss Annette's little farm in the big city. We'll see you next time. Bye.